You ever seen someone spill coffee and the whole damn city catches fire? Not literally, but in a way that burns through silence, through masks, through the kind of fake civility that cracks when someone finally says out loud what they've always thought in secret. That's what happened the morning Elijah Ward caught the 7:15 bus to downtown Granger, hoping for nothing more than a shot, just one honest chance at a job that could pull him and his mother out of the rut life had been grinding them into for over a decade. Elijah wasn't flashy. He never had been. He was 36, tall, broad-shouldered, skin the color of roasted coffee, wearing a navy blue suit that had clearly seen better days, but was clean, pressed, respectful. On his lap sat a worn leather briefcase, edges cracked from time and pride. It was his father's, the only thing he had left of him. And yeah, he held it like it mattered, because it did. He wasn't some loud, flashy kid. He was ex-military, ex-combat medic, the kind of guy who knew how to hold his breath through chaos. The kind of man who'd seen death close enough to smell it, but still prayed every night his mother wouldn't cough blood come morning. He'd trained through blizzards in the Rockies, stitched wounds with shaking hands in combat zones, and learned to crawl with 90 pounds on his back and no backup in sight. Those lessons? They don't leave you. They sit in your bones, whispering when to stand up and when to sit down, and when to let silence speak louder than fists. That morning, Elijah chose silence. He had a job interview at 9 a.m. at Stonebridge & Hale, one of the city's most prestigious consulting firms. Not because someone pulled strings, but because he earned it, aced the written test, passed 2 screening calls, and got a foot in the door on nothing but sheer will and persistence. The city outside was still yawning awake, but inside that bus, life was already crawling with tension. People were packed shoulder to shoulder, eyes fixed on phones, floor tiles, anywhere but each other. That kind of disconnection? It makes room for cruelty. And that's when she stepped in. Her name, though Elijah didn't know it then, was Madison Claiborne. Blonde, white, mid-30s, immaculate ivory trench coat, heels clicking like metronomes of privilege. She walked onto that bus like it belonged to her, like everything did. She scanned the crowd and locked eyes on Elijah. And in that moment, you felt it, like the drop in pressure before a storm. She scoffed, loud enough to cut through the hum of the engine. "Unbelievable," she said. "A black man gets to sit while a white woman stands? Where's the basic decency?" Yeah, that happened. Nobody said a damn thing. A few passengers shifted, a few smirked. One old guy even nodded, like she was the victim. Elijah looked out the window, jaw tight. He didn't want trouble. He just wanted to get to the interview, keep his head down, and breathe through the day. But trouble doesn't always ask for permission. When he stood to offer the seat, because his father once told him, "They'll test your dignity, son. Don't let them steal it." Madison didn't thank him. She walked past like royalty. Then, in one flick of her wrist, she uncapped her latte, and with surgical precision, dumped it on his chest. It wasn't an accident. "Well," she said, smirking, "matches your color, doesn't it?" The silence on that bus was so thick it could have suffocated you. The heat of the coffee was nothing compared to the cold that hit Elijah's gut. A boy, maybe 8 years old, clung to his mother near the front, his eyes locked with Elijah's, and in those wide brown eyes was something Elijah remembered all too well: confusion, fear, and shame he hadn't earned. He clenched his teeth, held that breath again, and walked to the back of the bus, his shirt soaking, his pride bruised but unbroken. And no one said a word. But someone did see. A man in his 50s, dark skin, silver beard, eyes sharp as glass, watched the whole thing from 2 seats down. Didn't speak, didn't smirk, just saw, like a soldier recognizing another across enemy lines. Elijah got off 3 stops later, walked into Stonebridge & Hale and told himself, "Do the damn thing anyway." He didn't know the receptionist would glance at his stained shirt. He didn't know he'd be told to sit next to a row of polished candidates in $1,000 suits and pearl smiles, and he sure as hell didn't know she would walk in 5 minutes later. Madison Claiborne. Same heels, same coat, same contempt. But this time, she didn't even look at him, because to her, he was already forgotten. Disposable. Like the coffee cup she tossed in the trash before the interview. Until, "Mr. Ward?" The voice came from a tall, imposing man in a tailored charcoal suit. His name was Alan Remington, the CEO, the man with the silver beard from the bus. He'd seen everything. Elijah Ward, Remington said, offering a firm handshake. Come with me. Now, let me pause here because this is where the story pivots. See, Madison was up next in the panel interview. Same job, same room. And the minute she walked in and locked eyes with Elijah, something in her facade cracked. Just a hairline fracture. But Remington saw it. He didn't raise his voice, didn't make a scene. He simply asked one question. Ms. Claiborne, how would you describe your commitment to diversity and respect in a workplace setting? She stammered. For the first time, she stammered. Her buzzwords crumbled like stale crackers. Her voice caught. The silence after her answer was long enough to bury her career. And then Remington stood. Elijah Ward, welcome to Stonebridge and Hale. Just like that. And then to Madison. Ms. Claiborne, thank you for your time, but we won't be moving forward with your application. Now that would have been satisfying enough. But that's just Act 1, because news travels fast. Someone on the bus had filmed the whole thing, uploaded it, captioned it. White woman throws coffee on black veteran. Instant karma at job interview. In under 24 hours, the video hit 6 million views. By the next morning, Elijah's inbox was flooded. Some messages were support, strangers thanking him for his calm, his poise. Others were cruel, racist threats, insults, calls for him to stop playing victim. The mayor gave a statement. The police chief called for mutual respect on public transportation, which was nothing, just words. But the community, they split in two. Half demanded Madison be charged with assault. The other half claimed she was the one being harassed now. An internal hearing opened. Civil rights lawyers reached out. News anchors debated whether what happened was racism or just a misunderstanding. Remington was called to testify. So was Elijah. Madison? She went silent, then lawyered up. And in all that noise, one unexpected voice emerged. Officer Raina Lewis, a transit cop. She'd reviewed the footage, read the statements, and, on her own time, posted a video saying, I've worked this beat 10 years. If that man hadn't been black, she'd never have dumped coffee on him. That's the truth. And just like that, she was suspended. Threats came pouring in. Her apartment got egged. Her mother got doxxed. She refused to back down. Elijah met her a week later, brought her coffee, told her, thank you. That night, he sat in bed staring at 2 open folders, one from the city attorney's office, offering to press charges, and one from his pastor, reminding him, forgiveness is the weapon of the strong. He was torn. Take her down or rise above? He thought about the boy on the bus, the look in his eyes, the silence of that space. He thought about the woman, Officer Lewis, who'd put her job on the line, and in the end, he chose both. He declined to press criminal charges, but made a public statement, calm, firm, measured. He said, I won't carry hate, but I will carry truth. What she did was racist. What I endured is real. And no, silence is not the high road, it's complicity. I'm not here to destroy her, but I will be heard. And the world, it erupted. Some called him a hero, some called him weak. A local journalist interviewed him for a podcast titled Dignity Under Fire. He was invited to speak at universities. Protesters marched for Officer Lewis's reinstatement. Madison Claiborne, meanwhile, deleted every social media account. Her employer, a corporate PR firm, quietly let her go. And still, some news outlets framed her as a victim of cancel culture. Elijah didn't gloat. He just kept walking. He showed up to work every day. He mentored young interns. He visited his mother every Sunday. He even went back to that bus stop, same time, same bench. And that little boy, the one from the bus? Elijah met his mom weeks later. Turns out she was a single parent too, working 2 jobs. They talked. She cried, told him, my son hasn't stopped talking about you since. Sometimes being seen once by the right person changes everything. And sometimes standing silent once when you should have spoken stays with you forever. One morning, Elijah sat across from Officer Lewis at a small diner. The walls buzzed with low conversation. The smell of grease and hot coffee hung in the air. You ever regret it? He asked her, stirring sugar into his cup. She looked up. No, but sometimes I wonder, what if more of us spoke up sooner? He nodded. Yeah, what if? And just as they finished breakfast, a stranger walked by, paused, and said, thank you, both of you. Just 3 words. But sometimes 3 words carry more justice than a courtroom ever could. Now, do you think Elijah made the right choice? Should he have pressed charges? Or was his decision to rise above stronger than revenge? Let us know in the comments below. Because some stories don't end with applause. They end with a question.